Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the Airoverse Portal. So this is the remote access side of everything that we're doing here. Often what I recommend is this initial setup can be done prior to showing up to the install and prior to having everything powered and installed, set up, commissioned, all that. Oftentimes people don't listen to me and you're doing this kind of along with the install. But the reason you do it beforehand is so that you get remote visibility and that our support team also gets remote visibility so that we can provide you better support by being able to visualize the data and see the zones as they show up through the portal. So what we're going to do is we're going to do our login. And I have an account, so I'm going to go ahead and use my account to log in. If you're a first-time user, you should have gotten an email with a link to Airoverse. That link to Airoverse is going to make you type in a one-time passcode for two-factor authentication. And then once you set up your password or link it to your Office 365 account, then you're going to use your credentials for every install you do from that point forward. You only have to set up your account one time unless you change emails. Once I log in, it's going to show me a pin drop of all of the locations, the sites that I have access to. If you only have access to one, this is your first time logging in, you're going to get one pin drop on the map and it's going to zoom in a little bit. So if I type in training, it's going to zoom in a little bit closer to where we are. And I'm going to go ahead and choose the training site that we set up. When I open that up, it doesn't look like a whole lot yet because I haven't uploaded a floor plan. I haven't done anything with this site yet. But what I do have is I've got AHU 26 Suite 216. If you remember, that was our zoned AHU that our central control unit is controlling. If I click on that, I can see my versions. I can see the rooftop unit graphic. Everything is already set up for me based on the menu selections that I made. If I scroll down, there's a couple of really important indicators right off the bat. Is my CM alive? Yes, that's telling me that the tablet is docked on the base. It is making a good connection there. And the other is whether my battery is charging. That tells me that those pins are fully intact between those two. So we've already got data coming in, but again, our login doesn't look like much, so we're going to go ahead and set it up. Over here on the left, there's a bunch of tabs. If you hover over them, it tells you what they are. And what we want to do first is we want to go through the initial setup of getting our floor plan created. So the floor plan, you're just going to choose the floor. I only have one floor for this training site. You might have 10 floors or 30 floors or 2 floors. It doesn't matter. You're just going to choose the floor you're working on. And you're going to upload a floor plan. And the floor plan can be any PNG or JPEG image. And if you go in here, that JPEG or PNG often is a screenshot of a set of mechanical plans. If you don't have that, a fire escape plan can work. If you don't have that, sometimes just a screenshot of a white space gives you at least an image to upload so you can start getting something built. And then you can always clean it up later when you find something or build something in Sweet Home 3D to make a much nicer looking floor plan. So I just pulled one down off the web for my use here. And so I uploaded this image, and then over here it shows me the shape selector. So I've got my shapes, and I choose the shape, and then I drag out the zone name. So I've got my list of 3 zones, and I can grab the zone name and drag it out. So I drag it out onto the map. I click on it, and the corners become grabbable. I can go ahead and drag those 4 corners that come by default down to about where they go. And if I want to adjust it, I can double click on the green line and I can add more vertice points just like this. So that's one zone. Oops. Close enough for now. And we'll put our reception over here. And again, I'm just making this up so it doesn't look exactly how it should. All right, not perfect, but for the training today, it gets me started. And if I go back to my site overview now that I hit update, don't forget to hit update. If you don't hit update, you're going to have to come back and redo all this again. So now if I go back to my site overview, now what I've got is I've got all three zones plotted on a floor plan. So with that, that's your initial setup. If I didn't have anything paired, I wouldn't see any names here, or I would see the zone names, but it would just be a gray box. If I hovered over it or clicked into it, it would just show me a big exclamation mark that says it's not paired. And then you would start seeing them come online as the install technician started pairing stuff up. And that's why it can be really useful to our support team and to you if you're remote from your technicians to be able to see stuff coming online and assist them virtually. So with that, that's the initial setup. We'll dive into the other stuff here in the next video.